Hey cuties, it's your girl Tana Too Cute. Listen, y'all, I could not wait to get in here and have a little cute chat with my cuties, okay? So y'all know that Tyler Perry dropped this new movie, Straw, on this past Friday, June the 6th. Y'all, it's number one on June 6th, and still today, it is still number one top 10 movies on Netflix. Tyler Perry did his thing in this movie, y'all. Taraji, Sherry Shepherd, and Tiana Taylor, they did their thing. Now look, Tyler Perry movies are not for everybody, okay? And we know that, but we're here to talk about it because I'm here for it, okay? Let's get into it.
I've been on y'all asses to make this amount of money, and this black man has paid it to me. So there's no credit to be taken. I wish I could have gave you the commission.
Facts. Every raise that I've gotten in my career has come from this man right here.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing that I love about our boy Tyler Perry. He is going to build up his community, y'all. In this movie, we got Tiana Taylor, Sherry Shepherd, Taraji P. Henson, and they're saying that they have, they're being paid the best that they've ever been paid in their career, y'all. He brought back Sinbad, y'all. We know that Sinbad experienced some illness, y'all. And what a way to uplift him, to bring him back into a movie. Y'all, we may not like his writing. We may not like, the same old, but one thing we cannot disagree on is how he built up his community. So before we get into the review, y'all, look, y'all like this video, hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and let's just uplift this black man for the positive things that he's doing in our community. Okay, so for those who are not familiar with what this movie is about, it's about a single mother, that is struggling, y'all. When I say struggling, she is struggling. And there are just several bad things happening, right behind the other in a single day. One bad thing after the other. So the title of this movie is spot on, Straw, coming from that metaphor, a straw that broke the camel's back. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever heard that metaphor. And then too, there's another metaphor that we can apply here as well. If it ain't for one thing, is another, something like that. Am I right? Y'all let me know down in the comments. But yeah, and we all know just from living life, when you're hit with so many different situations and you don't know how, when, where you're going to come out of this situation, you may snap. And that's what happened with Janiyah. Taraji P. Henson played her. Janiyah snapped, y'all. Not intentionally, but she snapped. Okay, so we're moving on. I want to start first with her boss, Richard or Richmond. Y'all know I'm not good with the names, but this guy reminds me so much of Luther from the movie Set It Off. When he say, how he talked to the girls and set it off, like he really don't care anything about their life, what they're going through, just work. I need you to work and make me my money. And that's pretty much how this guy, was in this movie, to the point where, he didn't make the entire movie. Okay. So he just didn't have a care in the world about, what Janiyah, was going through, despite the fact that she was a loyal employee. And I didn't like that, about him. And he got what he got. Okay, so if you haven't watched the movie, I'm not going to spoil all of the beans. But, he got what he got, just like Luther and Set It Off. Okay. So he ended up firing Janiyah from her, job, because she did get a call from the school about her daughter, and she needed to leave work to go see about her daughter, basically. Okay. And by the time she got back to work, it was too late. He had already called someone else in to replace her, and ultimately he fired her. She needed her job. She needed the money to pay for her daughter's medicine. She needed the money to get her daughter's lunch because the school was already complaining. Okay. In the midst of this, unexpectedly, the store was robbed. So automatically the manager, her boss, thought she had something to do with it, despite the fact that Jemiah saved his life initially. She said, no, this robber not about to take the money that I need for my daughter, medicine and lunch. No. So she took the robber out, saved the boss' life. But going back to, he fired her and was not going to give her her check. She snapped. Okay. So that's why he didn't make the entire movie. All right, so we're moving on. So she left that situation and went home to another situation where all of her things, and of course, y'all, this is not going to be in a certain order, the right sequence. I'm just sharing my opinion, commentary about the movie. So of course she goes home, she got her rent lady, down her back, and she's really just dependent on this check to pay everything that she needs to pay, whether it's for her daughter medicine, the daughter food, her rent, and whatever else she needs to. So all her things are out on the curb in the rain. So that's another thing. If you've ever gone through an eviction, maybe you know what that feels like. If you have never gone through an eviction, that is humiliating, embarrassing, and all of your valuable things may not be salvageable, because it's raining. Okay? Everybody looking at it. Then you got these, people that come about and take some of your stuff. She had no way of getting all these things because prior to her even making it back home, she had a run-in with an officer that ran her off the road. He was undercover, or he was not in uniform. He ran her off the road, threatened to, off her or unalive her. Then his partner ended up giving her a ticket, impounding her car. So, man, how much can someone take in one single day, y'all? So now she is without car. She's evicted. She's fired from her job. She's at wit's end, y'all. Okay? So, and then, of course, in the meantime of her trying to, when she left the job to get her check, she took it basically from the boss, and of course he didn't make the movie, right? So she took that check to the bank so that she can cash it. That's the only thing she wanted to do, was to cash her check. She didn't want anything else. So when she almost didn't make it because the bank was closed, but they let her in because they knew her. They knew her from coming in regularly doing business with them. So they let her in, and she asked the young lady, Tessa, to cash her check. She did not have her ID because it was stolen. So Tessa would not cash her check. So again, her back is up against the wall, and now she is snapping out, crashing out again, y'all. So she was like, Tessa, you know me. I come in here all the time. You please cash this check. Tessa said, I'm sorry. Maybe you can speak to the manager. And Janiyah Taraji, she hit that pew pew on the counter, was like, cash this check. So Tessa just, of course, human nature, she panicked and started giving her all the money. Now, she did not ask for all the money in behind the counter. She asked for her to cash her check, but Tessa, sounded off the alarm to notify the authorities, and she started to try to give her all the money. And Taraji, Janiyah was like, I don't want all this. I just want you to cash my check. So things are just happening unintentionally, and it just gets out of control, y'all. Listen, my face had never, well, I ain't gonna say never, but my face was just ripping to pieces. All the emotions were just going through my body, like anywhere from anger to sadness to empathy. All the emotions were just rolling, y'all. Okay. And now Sherry Shepherd in the movie, she played her role as well. Now Sherry is a good actress. I don't care what nobody say. She played her role as a branch manager of this bank. So she really tried to calm Janiyah. She was very empathetic with Janiyah through this whole situation. Once the authorities got wind that Janiyah was at the bank attempting robbery, Detective Raymond, which is Tiana Taylor, served as what do you call the people that negotiator? Because she could relate to the things that Janiyah was experiencing. She didn't really want to jump on board with the narrative that she just out here wilding out, crashing out, robbing, and all of this for no reason. And all of the people around Janiyah are saying that this is not her, this is not in her character, right? So Detective Raymond listened to her. She empathized with her. She allowed Janiyah to share her story. To the point where, they got the bank surrounded with cops, right? Janiyah don't trust anyone but Detective Raymond, which is Tiana Taylor. And, at the end, she did agree to come out, let all the hostages go. If y'all remember, I shared that the officer ran her off the road and threatened to unalive her. She said she would come out if that officer was removed from the scene. And Detective Raymond ended up making that happen. I was so happy to see that Tiana Taylor slapped the living daylights out of him and got him off of that scene. But at the end, y'all, Janiyah did come out with her hands up. And here is the big thing for me, y'all. Sherry did not allow her to walk out alone. Because we know when we see standoffs and how these things could end, any little movement, would have allowed her, probably would have ended differently, right? So Sherry said, hey, I'm going to walk out with you. Our hands going to be held high. We're going to remain calm. And Sherry kind of shielded her as well as Tiana. So when she came out, she turned around, walked backwards to Tiana. Tiana is the one that handcuffed her and basically was shielding her as well so that, these happy hand cops wouldn't just get trigger happy and pew pew our girl Janiyah. The protesters, y'all, when I tell you the chills went through my body when I saw the support out there for our girl Janiyah, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Now, there is a twist, y'all, to the movie at the end. It appears that, I hate to spill any beans, but it just appears that there was some hallucination going on. That's what I'll do. I just leave it there. It seems as though there was some sort of hallucination when it came down to her daughter. But y'all, overall, I'm rating this movie 10 out of 10 because it's relatable. We see this all the time, even today. There's so many positives that we could pull from this movie, meaning the community coming to support, our girl, and not all cops are bad cops. There is some empathy and compassion out there. So 10 out of 10 for me. Y'all let me know, what are your thoughts? If you've seen the movie, how would you rate the movie? On a scale of 1 to 10, drop down in the comments and let me know. But for me, y'all, it was a 10 out of 10. Look, y'all like the video, hit subscribe, and y'all have a good day on purpose. Bye.